Wait, was this person teleported from the 1920s into Happy Valley?
That fit was crazy.
Why is he wearing this old-timey outfit? Like, he looks like a newsie.
He looked like an extra from The Departed or something. Like, what the hell was that kid wearing?
I don't know.
And by the way, that was an incident where I had no issue with what the fan said. Because the fan went up to him and said, hey, we scored only 3 points when we were inside the 10-yard line 3 times. What happened? That's a fair question. Guess what, James Franklin? You're going to answer that question 2 minutes later in the same press conference that a fan is yelling at you. This guy's a clown. I'm done with this guy. I felt so bad because I'm coming home on Saturday from coming upstate. My mom, I told you guys, diehard Penn State grad.
Yes, we know she is.
She didn't even want to watch the game. Like, my dad was telling a story. She was like, I was like, well, we're going to watch the game today. She's like, I don't want to watch that. Talking about James Franklin.
Wow.
Because she is so done and knew what the result was. Pearl's been saying it all week. Every Penn State fan knows what's going to happen. Yeah. My mom, who's a Penn State grad who watches every game every week, said, I didn't want to watch that game because I know exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
A lot of Philly friends going to Whiteout next week, though, because it is a Philadelphia team.
Gosh, you're back on that now.
I know. Sheesh. Well,
we don't want them, but the reality is, like, I have a bunch of friends who are doing a road trip for that game, which I think they do every year.
Well, have fun. No,
it'll be. Are you kidding me? That would be super fun. I've never been, but it's supposed to be insane.
They had 111,
yeah,
1,000 people there. All went home.
Lands differently at noon, and you know that. You can't get drunk enough to enjoy it.
Certainly aren't enough hours in the day. I get it. Get back to Jason Kelsey, his interaction with a fan next.
O'Reilly Auto Parts is honored to recognize the service of our military personnel. They offer active duty, retired, and reserve military members, veterans, and dependent family members a 10% discount on many items. Exceptions do apply. Offer valid in-store only. For details, visit your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store. Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
All right, gentlemen, this is Emmett Smith on behalf of the Penn, and I've got the perfect play. Run straight to your doctor's office for a life-changing catch. Because when prostate cancer is caught early, it's up to 99% treatable, and one blood test might be all it takes. And now through November, the Penn is donating to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for select purchases. Talk about a great play.
From September 1st to November 30th, Depend is donating 40 cents to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for Depend Shield guards, Real Fit products purchased in the U.S. up to a maximum.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need Big Lou, a term provider. If you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Remember, Big Lou's like you, except he's only on number 2. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with, visit biglou.com. That's biglou.com.
Searching HVAC near here.
Right here, ma'am. How can we help?
Wow, nobody local? Huh.
Wait, what? We are an HVAC company literally in your neighborhood. Why is she not seeing us?
Just all the big chains. Well, it is what it is.
What in the... Can you not see us?
Nope, they can't see you. Because you're buried deep in the list of local HVAC providers. You are invisible online. Introducing Cumulus Boost. Get a boost, get found, get on the map. Learn more at cumulusboost.com.
When you have sports mixed with your pop culture, along with humor and celebrity interviews, your earbuds are enjoying The Rich Eisen Show. Terrell Davis, former NFL player for the Denver Broncos.
When I played, if I had to get a message out, it was probably through my agent or I had to tell somebody in the media. Now, I can just tweet it, I can just put it on social media. You hear a lot of things that you don't want to hear, and then your family hears it, they tell you about it. So it's definitely a different environment.
Search for The Rich Eisen Show on YouTube or wherever you listen.
Families affected by Hurricanes Milton and Helene urgently need support. Help the American Red Cross provide meals and shelter to these families. Donate today to hurricane relief by going to redcross.org or calling 1-800-RED-CROSS.
Sweet Deals has an offer that can't be beat. Get instant access to Microsoft Office Home plus Business for Windows or Mac for only $39.99. This is a lifetime license valued at $219, an 82% savings. Supply is limited, so don't delay. Get your Sweet Deal today at sweetdeals.com.
Crowder and Corey Ryan Forrester, two good old Southern boys, as they learn about and analyze fancy people and their culture. Half redneck, half posh, 100% fun and entertaining. Enjoy wherever you listen.
Best-selling author and business growth expert Candy Valentino brings her unique spin on achieving financial freedom.
You're going to ruffle feathers. That's the only way that you're really going to get where it is that you want to go. So I want you to use this little podcast as a reminder. You don't need someone else's validation or acceptance. You hold the keys to unlock whatever it is that you're looking to do. And you don't need someone else's permission to use it.
The Candy Valentino Podcast, wherever you listen.
Are you exhausted by our political divisions?
The climate that we're operating under has everyone on the defensive.
A lot of people wouldn't even think we should be here talking to each other, but I'm sorry, I disagree.
One small step brings two people with different beliefs together, not to debate politics, but to talk about their lives. Join us at takeonesmallstep.org, because even if we don't see eye to eye, we can still talk heart to heart.
For free installation.
The sports leader for Central Arkansas is AM 920, KARN Little Rock, a Cumulus media station.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
Second down and 2, Green Bay from their own 38. Love takes the shotgun snap. Lions bring a late blitz. Love back, looking, being chased. Love throw, picked up the line. Kirby Joseph, left side. He's gonna go, baby. Count it down. 5, end zone, touchdown, Detroit Lions. Wow, how big is that? How big is that?
Real big, Dan. Dan Miller, Lions Radio. Lions go into Lambeau on a day, Perloff. I commend the fans in Green Bay. I know you guys are used to it. I know your life is a lot of just navigating bad weather, but that just looked disgusting. I mean, the rain's coming in sideways. It seemed cold and yucky. Only a time when you'd want to be inside. And also, you're watching your team lose, and you're watching your quarterback limp around. The Jordan Love knee/groin issue is a problem. And I thought it was very important for him to start this game, Perloff, but he clearly got more injured as the game went on. Why didn't they pull him out of this game?
Well, I mean, the Packers actually, they were moving the ball a lot. Like, he made a lot of good throws. If Christian Watson was a little better, they might even got even more yards. I mean, I don't know. I thought towards the end it was definitely garbage time a little bit, although the game was technically in reach. He made a lot of still nice throws. Like, that wasn't, to me, like, that wasn't that watered down a version of Jordan Love. I thought, like, he made a lot of plays, and honestly, I thought his receivers let him down a couple times too. You still see the very good quarterback in there.
No, you do, and he was coming up with some good plays, but he couldn't run. He couldn't move around. I thought it made them pretty one-dimensional.
I don't know. They actually, like, they have gained the Lions by 2-1, and Love just was tossing it all over the yard. I mean, to me, like, that game just had, like, few bounces went the wrong way and it got out of control. It wasn't, even the final score 24-14 says to me, like, oh, this could be a different game if they meet in a dry neutral field later in the season. Ironically, the Packers with another California kid at quarterback is even better designed for indoors.
Yeah, I guess, I don't know. I feel like if the Lions could control this game, this to me was the most impressive thing that probably any team has done all season long. Because there's been questions about Jared Goff and whether he could play outside. There are questions about just the Lions in general. And on the crappiest weather day possible, they were controlling this game. And yeah, I know that Jordan Love was able to come up with a few explosive plays, but didn't it feel like when they were down 17-3, this was going to be a Herculean effort to come back from this?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but if you take that pick six out of the game, then it's a different game.
Yeah,
and also, too, like, how many times did he throw a ball to a receiver and the ball is sopping wet? It just went right through their hands as it was going to go. So that's why, like, I mean, do we really count this game as a indicator of what's really going on with these two teams? Because, ironically, I think the Lions might be better built for a slop game, even though Jared Goff never good outside. Now apparently he's good outside.
Well, when you got David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs and this offensive line, you can lean on people. And the fact that, they got the pick 6 that you heard, the Kirby Joseph, that was Love's fault. He couldn't move around, and he made a terrible decision.
But the ball was sitting in his hand really funny because of the water.
I know they couldn't get snaps cleanly, everything, but this is a team that you would think, you always want to believe that the Green Bay team is going to rise to the occasion when it's weather, oh, now you get the advantage. It's not really the case. And I was really surprised they didn't go to Malik Willis. I really was. I know you have a bye week coming up, so there's time for Jordan Love to heal, but are we going through the rest of the season just waiting for the next time for him to pull up?
Yeah, Jordan Love's tough, though. But then again, you would have said that after the knee injury. And look, he came back and won a bunch of games. I'm not sure you're going to convince Jordan Love to sit. And again, he threw for 273 yards and probably another 100 were left on the field.
Yeah.
Because Dontavian Wicks cannot catch in the rain. And Christian Watson, there's something a little bit off with him. You notice that every time he runs a pattern, him and Love seem to be on a different page.
Well, it's funny because EJ and I were actually talking this morning. I'm like, man, the Packers really need a number one, like a true number one. Kind of felt like they were missing one last night. But to EJ's point, he's like, well, how much more are they going to invest in the wide receiver position? You're like, you already have Romeo Doubs upset because of how many targets he wasn't getting. You're really going to add a number one.
Well, I mean, they're the cheapest wide receiver room in the league, aren't they?
And but even just like a first round pick, which is something they never did even with Aaron Rodgers back there.
Right. I mean, Jaden Reed's pretty awesome.
No, he's great.
Is he a number one? He's not big like a number one, so he's not a red zone. That's supposed to be Christian Watson. And again, the rain came down, and Christian Watson's like, nah, I'm good. This happened. I mean, you got to remember, I will just defend because Packers were my Super Bowl pick, and I'm feeling defensive here. Remember, they had 2 seasons last year. They were not the same team at the end of the season when they were at the beginning of the season. They were arguably, I think they were right there with Detroit at the end of last year. And just because they weren't there last night, I don't think that this is a done deal. I don't think Detroit is so head and shoulders above Green Bay. They split last year with Green Bay winning in Detroit and Detroit winning in Green Bay. I think we're going to see this game again in the playoffs.
We might. This could be 3 times that they play each other, but I think you're underestimating the Lions here. I think that's not giving enough credit to the Lions to say they're close and they're right there, because this is the Lions team that lost Aiden Hutchinson and put a beating last week. Again, it was on the Titans. Who cares? But they answered all the questions that you had about the Lions. Unless you're just still on the Dan Campbell going for it on 4th, which, by the way, another crazy one where they go for it on 4th down. They end up getting a penalty that moved them even closer. But they go for the most high difficulty 4th down conversions. It's hard stopping. But anyway, they end up getting it and converted to a touchdown. So that one worked out. I think this was a major step forward for the Lions in a season that's been full of positive momentum outside of the Aiden Hutchinson.
I hear what you're saying. They didn't get the quarterback once yesterday. I think eventually, I would add somebody. I would definitely add, whether it's a veteran for a 3rd round pick, get a Chase Young type or something. You got to do that right now because Jordan Love actually did have some time last night. I think the Lions bit of prevent mode, but they definitely need to add a pass rusher. I don't think they're a Super Bowl team. That's the only goal for this team. Do they have enough weapons defensively?
I wasn't sure Aaron Glenn could see. His glasses were so so rain-soaked. It's like, how did anyone see anything? Remember when Dan Campbell last week said, stay tuned?
Yeah, I know.
They implied that they were going to add somebody, and then nothing happened.
Yeah, they should, because unless Hutchinson is like a miracle worker and it's going to be back earlier, you need that closer. I'm not sure he's there.
I have a question for you. Is Jared Goff the best quarterback in the NFC?
Ooh, who are my competition?
Well, you have Jordan Love on the other side, obviously. You've got Jaden Daniels. I can give you, can I interest you in Brock Purdy?
No.
Can I interest you in Matthew Stafford?
He's pretty good. But then again, that team is not good, so...
They won yesterday in overtime against the Seahawks. Can I interest you in Kirk Cousins?
Nah.
Well, if you'd like me to go to Sam Darnold, where else would you like me to go? Oh, your boy Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts.
Forget about him.
Yeah.
Caleb?
It might be. He might be the best quarterback, but for some reason, though, it's not enough of a distinction to mean it. Does that make sense? He's the best, but is he going to outduel Jordan Love in the playoffs?
Is Jordan Love going to be more hurt? Because if he is, then yes, he is.
I mean, we're talking 2 months from now.
Yeah, it could be worse for Love. Not better.
Could be better.
Maybe. But, I mean, he's battling 2 lower body injuries, right? The knee he's playing on, but that's just